Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have a tier list here I want to kind of just put some rankings. This is kind of a little early, but I think like doing this really far in advance and then doing when it's closer to the event, when we actually know who's going to be in it, could be interesting. So I'm going to do my ranking of current men's stars, and some. I guess there's some tag teams in here. Hopefully some of them are separate, but I don't think it will matter for some teams. Um, who has a chance to be in the Money in the Bank match and who could win it. So I'm gonna put could be in it. I totally messed it up. So Money in the Bank is who I think maybe is gonna win it or has a better chance. This is who I think will be in the match itself. This is just champions, so they probably won't be in it. Obviously, some guys could be changed, and then there's going to be just straight up no. So let's start off with AJ Styles. AJ Styles is an interesting one because like I would think that like he would have had a better shot if he wasn't already getting his rematch already with Cody Rhodes. So I don't think he's gonna get there. I don't think there's gonna be that chance that he's gonna be in any type of thing to be able to do anything about it. Next up, we got AOP. We got both of them. Part of a tag team, so don't really think they're going to have any type of shot. Andrade is an interesting one. I would like him in the match. I definitely would like him in that match in general. I don't think he would win, but it wouldn't be completely far-fetched that he could win it. So I'm going to say he could be in it. I definitely think he would be a good addition to it. Tozawa, maybe when the power of Tozawa from last year, if this was like in that still realm, I think he could have been like the meme pick and been in there. But where he's not now, where he's just kind of getting verbally abused, I don't think he's going to get it. Angel Garza, I think, is kind of similar with like, like he's part of a tag team, not similar to Tozawa, where both of them, him and Herberto, won't be in there. Though one of them will probably be in like a qualifying match, but I don't think they're going to get much more than that. Apollo Cruz, he's barely been on the main roster, but he's in a little bit of a rivalry with Angel Garza and the and his faction and stuff. So I feel like that's mainly where they're going to probably keep him. I don't think he's going to even get a match. I'll put him in no. The Street Profits would be interesting because Montez Ford has been losing a lot of like heat when he literally, I think, was in the qualifying matches last year. I don't think him or Dawkins makes it. I think they're going to keep him in the tag division, keep him with kind of Kevin Owens trying to fight off the bloodline because Bobby Lashley's not here and injured. So there's not much they can do. Next up is not Grayson Waller, Austin Theory. Unless they drop the belts anytime soon, but I don't think he would ever get another shot at Money in the Bank. We're going to put him as a champion, so no, but it's probably no either way. Baron Corbin's an actually interesting pick because of all of his work he did in NXT. I would have thought maybe there was a chance he could have done it, but I don't think so. I just don't. I don't think we're gonna get that opportunity anytime soon because we just haven't used him. Bobby Lashley's hurt, so I'm gonna go no. Braun Strowman actually might be a good pick to be in there. He's kind of hot coming back, and he's kind of like a big baby face that I think. I think whoever wins the Money in the Bank, I think is gonna be a baby face. That's kind of like my general opinion of it. So I feel like if that's the case, he can at least probably be in the match. Braun Breaker, I think, is probably one of maybe three guys I would put into that could win it. I don't. The only reason why I don't know is I just think he would get a mid card title opportunity first. So I'm gonna put him in. Could be. I think he'll be in the match. I think because he got left off of the King of the Ring match, I think he'll demand to be in there, and I think he'll get his opportunity. Bronson Reed is another one that I think would have an opportunity to be in it. He's been in like a lot of premium live events. He's done some pretty decent stuff. I think he could definitely be one of the six that make it in. Next up, we got the Creed brothers. Because they're a tag team, I don't really see them splitting them up that soon. Carlito seems like another one that would have like a match, like a qualifying match, but I don't think he's even going to be considered. Carmelo Hayes was somebody else that I was kind of thinking that could be towards the top. Again, I think he still has the Braun Breaker thing where he might have the experience to be in the match, but I don't think they'd put it on him because he's going to have to challenge for one of the main titles. I don't really want them to have another mid card cash in. It just kind of ruins the Money in the Bank. Next up, we have Chad Gable. Chad would actually be an interesting one because if he loses to Sammy again and he just like goes insane and then like gets in there to go after Sammy instead of just not even looking at the main card title would be pretty interesting. I don't think that's where they're gonna go, so I'm gonna go no with him. CM Punk with the money with the 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 Money in the Bank would be interesting. Now, if Drew McIntyre wins at Clash at the Castle, I could see CM Punk getting this and just toying with him for an entire summer. But we get a summer of Punk, but in a whole different way. But I don't know if he's ready to come back, so I'm gonna go with no at the moment. That's gonna be my pick. Cody Rhodes champion. Damian Priest may not be champion by Money in the Bank, but I don't see them giving him the bank again. Dijak, he would be an interesting pick. I would definitely see. I could see him in the match. I could definitely maybe see him in a qualifying match, but they haven't used him yet in the main roster, so I don't see them propelling him that far ahead. So I'm gonna put no. Next up is Drew McIntyre. I don't think Drew McIntyre's destiny is going to be tied to the Money in the Bank. I feel like he will have the opportunity this upcoming week for Clash of the Castle, but if he loses, I feel like he's just going to go in that rivalry with CM Punk and kind of be on the outside looking in, doing stuff. I don't see him jumping right into a Money in the Bank thing because, yeah, I mean, he got cashed in on. Could be an interesting story too. I don't see it. I don't see it. I keep trying to talk myself into it, but I can't. Dominic Mysterio, I would say 100% would have it if he wasn't hurt, like or at least like an opportunity to be up in there. But I think he's still too hurt. I think he's out for a little bit. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Dragon Lee would be a good choice, just for the match itself. I could see him maybe be in a qualifying match, but I don't think he's going to get in there. Next up, we have Pretty Deadly, and I'm even though they're in the same vein here, we could both put them in no because we haven't even seen them. Finn Balor. Finn Balor is my pick for Money in the Bank if Damien keeps onto his thing. He's the one heel that I think should get it. I think most of the other things will be baby faces, but he is the one that I could see being in the Money in the Bank, winning it all, and cashing in on Damian Priest. It would be the best way to end the Judgment Day, but there's a lot that goes on there. That means Damien has to hold on, Finn has to win. Finn would have to cash in on him probably before SummerSlam. So there's a lot of stuff, but Finn Balor of like story threads, I think he has the best shot. He would be one of my picks. Obviously, there's a lot of guys out here that would get that opportunity. Next up is Gunther being King of the Ring and already have any title opportunity coming up. I would say no. Like I don't think there's any way. Giovanni's just completely disappeared, so I'm gonna go no with that. Dragunov is interesting. I think he could definitely be in the match. I think he fits with these three guys, all young guys that will more than likely be champions someday, but I think they're more destined for the mid-card championship first. I feel like Braun Breaker out of all of them is going to be the one that's the first opportunity to get like a big title opportunity, but I don't think it's going to be Money in the Bank. JD, I'm going to go with no. He's kind of the lackey of the Judgment Day. He's got some good spots. I could still see him in a qualifying match, but that's about it. Next up is Jay. Jay is the babyface that wins it. If there's any babyface out there, I think he's the one, the perfect choice for the Money in the Bank because, it's Jay. I mean, it's main event Jay Uso. He's doing his best to just be around, and do stuff. So I think he will have that opportunity to get Money in the Bank. He's definitely going to be in this. I mean, he already said he's going to try to do it. I really do believe he will be in the match, and I definitely think he will be a big chance of winning it. Next up, we have Jimmy. He would be an interesting choice, but I think he's hurt. Both members of the LWO, I think, are hurt or definitely not going to make it. Joey Gargano is in the middle of tag team stuff, so I don't really think so. Carl Anderson, tag team stuff. Karrion Kross could possibly be a match. Like he could be a qualifying match, but I don't see him doing much more than that. I think his is all about faction stuff. Kevin Owens, I definitely think could be in the match. He could possibly win it. I kind of was thinking him in my top three up here, but I feel like one other person kind of edges him out. But I do think Kevin Owens will be in the match. I think that gives him something to do and show off all of his talent. I think the more Kevin Owens you could put onto your PLEs, the better. He's just underrated like that. Like he's so good to have on there in some spot, tag teams, any type of match. He's a good wrestler. Xavier Woods, with the story that they're going with like the Final Testament trying to like push him to do it, I could see him in the match. I really could. I could really see that's what they do. It's like they help him win a qualifying match instead of Kofi helping him. Maybe he turns heel, turns on the New Day, and then possibly we get a Kofi versus Xavier in a match. I'm feeling that's kind of the storyline they're building up. I want to see that, so I could see this being the opportunity that the Final Testament helps him get and kind of fulfills that storyline and kind of pushes Xavier getting that little singles run. And hey, there's a possibility he could win Money in the Bank. I know it's kind of crazy to think. I don't think you have a successful cash in, but it would be very interesting story if they really want to pull that whole thread of having Final Testament, New Day, and stuff like that could really boost both factions being back to the top. Next up is LA Knight. LA Knight's weird because I really do believe LA Knight should win Money in the Bank, but I feel like his destiny is with Logan Paul, so I don't think he needs to be. I will put him in the could be. I think like he might have an opportunity, but I feel like he's gonna have an opportunity. Logan's gonna cost him, and then they're gonna brawl at SummerSlam. I think that's where we see that change, but I don't know. Logan Paul, he's a champion. I still think he'll be a champion by yeah, he definitely will be the champion because he doesn't have a match at Clash of the Castle. Um, Gallows, no, he's a tag team. Ludwig will probably get a qualifying match, but I don't think he'll do it. R-Truth, champion. Almost. We have not seen Otis as going through being abused by Chad Gable, so no. Tyler Bates, part of a tag team. Randy Orton's an interesting choice. I'm going to say you could see Randy Orton. I know I have quite a bit of people in the could see, but I feel like Randy Orton has that. He is maybe hurt right now, but he would be an interesting choice and add a lot of star power to that match. Rey Mysterio, I could see them doing it, but I don't want them to, so I'm going to go no. Ricochet's leaving the company, so he's being written out, so there's really no way that they do that. Now, look at this. Roman Reigns would be the perfect choice if he's ready to come back because he could grab it, come out of nowhere, and then maybe the Bloodline 2.0 tries to stop him, or he has that, and then Cody would have a target. It could really make an interesting story for Cody to have that in the back of his head as Roman has the title, because we know Roman would not cash in on the heavyweight title. He would try to cash in on Cody, and we could have a lot of narrative thread from that. So I could see it happening. I don't think it will. I don't think we're gonna get Roman Reigns back until after the summer. I don't think he's like, I think he might be maybe a SummerSlam person if he does come back at this section of the year, but I don't think he's going to come back until the late section of the year, if not at all this year. Next up, Sami Zayn. He might lose the championship by then, but I think he's going to get a match at Money in the Bank, being in Toronto. So if he does lose the IC title, he will be in the Money in the Bank match. But if he still has the IC title, he will be in this category and probably have a match there. Santos Escobar will have a qualifying match but not win it. Seth Rollins would be a very fun and awesome choice, but I'm going to have to go with no because I don't think he's anywhere near being back. Sheamus would be a good pick. I don't think that's where they're putting Sheamus right now. Nakamura has been 1 in 39 this year, I think is what they said. Don't see him even getting a match at this point. Solo could be up there in the Money to Bank. I knew I was gonna. I was thinking I was gonna put two baby faces up there, but I changed my mind midway through this because I really was gonna put. I was thinking Kevin Owens to put him up there, and then when I was thinking and thinking, I'm like, no, Solo. That is the way to make the Bloodline 2.0 scary, because like they have so many weapons, but Solo is just not a champion. He has to have a belt on him to make that faction look scarier right now. They try to do it without a belt. They try to do it with just like this thug like stuff, like he's just beating up people. It just does not work. He needs that, he needs a belt. So if he doesn't have a belt, having the Money in the Bank is as scary as that. He could constantly be nagging Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes could be escaping, just barely being cashed in on, and always having that in the back of his mind. And then even then, the Bloodline could go over to Raw and mess with the Judgment Day if Damien's still there, or mess with Drew McIntyre if he's the champion. I feel like making Solo the big boogeyman, no pun intended because of the WWE, would be to have him have the Money in the Bank. Next up, we have Tama Tonga. I think he could be in the match. Obviously, if Solo's not in it, he could be up there. I don't think we're gonna get it. Tommaso, gonna be no. Trick Williams, I don't know why he's here. When I said main roster people, gonna be no. There might be some people I'm missing. I don't really know. I can't honestly think of anybody off the top of my head that I'm missing here. I know there's some people on the roster that aren't on here, but this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we got some good stuff, and I think with some of these to kind of cash them a little bit, to make it a little bit thinner. I think when we have Carmelo, Dragunov, and Braun Breaker, I say they take 2 out of the 3. I think we if Xavier could definitely be one that they just pull the plug on if they're gonna just completely do different stories. Randy's somebody you could pull the plug on if you want other stories. Same thing with LA Knight, because LA Knight could have a match against Logan Paul, lose the first one, win the second one at SummerSlam. Obviously, Roman could possibly not be on there, and I could see one of these two being the pulled from Raw. So that's what I think. A little too early, but tell me what you guys think and what you guys are thinking as who's going to be Money in the Bank. Until next time, bye guys.